TV show. I'm Steve Zaragoza.
I'm Philip DeFranco.
I'm Elliott Morgan.
On this show, we're gonna break down House of Cards.
Every time we talk about this, you take a little break right before House of Cards, and I feel like you don't actually know.
It's because I really want it to be Breaking Bad again. I just
all
want to
over
go
again.
back. I want to.
Well, because it's the three of us again.
Yeah.
It's good
I
times.
want my.
You don't want to
my-
go back to American Horror Story Coven? That
No,
delight?
no. Let's move on to the next American Horror Story already and forget about Coven.
Or we can talk about House of Cards
Or
Season
that.
2.
That'd be great.
I'm excited. This episode, we're going to talk about Chapter 14, Chapter 15. We're going to go 2 episodes at a time, even though I know that we're all at different points right now.
Yeah, I think I'm like 5 episodes in.
Yeah, so if you're leaving comments, we're going to try and leave everything to the 2 episodes we're talking about. So limit spoilers. It's so hard because it's a show that you can binge watch. I finished the whole thing in a day because I was just like, I have to. Because on the internet, and people like know that I'm excited about it, they like aim to ruin it. And like 3 people did, but too late. And I was like, you're
Nice.
Holy shit,
That's,
really?
You dodged it? That's great, man.
But so we start off Chapter 14. Everything's a little sketchy because you got Frank Underwood looking like he's going to become Vice President of the United States. All that hard work finally paying off.
But I love how it like continues right from the end of the
Yeah.
first season, and him and his wife are running their job.
They
I like that.
jumping right into the plot. They like because I didn't rewatch like season 1 at all.
I didn't either.
It took me like so I had to like mentally put
for a
myself back because it's so heavy. You have to like freaking like really try to muster up what the last one was about. But they went after the stripper girl, or not the stripper, but like the
Yeah, she's like a call girl,
the
sort of
call girl
prostitute.
or whatever. Yeah,
Lady of the night.
they went after her hard, like real hard. Like she like what's his name? The
Shows up at her
freaking
work.
Baldy McBalderstein.
Yeah. Creepy
shows-
McBald guy.
Yeah, totally. And like the henchman or whatever
Yeah.
starts getting all abusive with her. I don't
Who
like
is he?
that at all.
He's
talking about Doug?
Frank's chief of something.
you're talking about
security.
Doug.
Yeah.
Doug.
Doug.
Yeah, sure.
It's Doug. Sorry for
Come
knowing
on,
the
guys.
names of
It's
the
Doug.
characters.
We'll call
I
him
love
Doug.
this series.
Well,
I'm
hold
gonna
on a
say
second.
that.
Well, let's preface this all with that, because like this is my thoughts on the series. I shouldn't, by character alone, like this show. Because it's all about politics, and it's all about like the president, and it kind of like there's all this intertwining political things going on in China and all these different parts of the world, and so by definition, it's really the type of show where I shouldn't be into it because I'm a sci-fi, very well directed and written drama type guy. But it just so happens the show is too good
It's
to
so good.
ignore.
I was
and it's-
hoping you'd say it, and I actually don't like
and
it.
I don't like the
And
show
I'm
at all
out.
whatsoever. No, I love the show, and I shouldn't, is the thing. But Kevin Spacey's so freaking good,
Amazing.
and Robin Wright is so good, and just everybody's great. And so, but yeah, I don't know. First season, you're right. It just seems like a big blur to me. I should have watched it again, but they do a great job basically recapping everything for you in a very expositional type way. In the beginning of the first episode of the second
The smart
season.
thing to do, if you did watch season 1, is to definitely watch the season 1 recap right before, just so you can catch up, because it starts right off the ass end of.
Should have done that.
They went for a run.
Yeah.
Like it's post killing that guy in the car,
Yeah.
which I know a lot of people were like, would he really do that himself? And yes,
Yeah.
I think Frank Underwood would.
Well,
I mean,
you get that question answered real fast in
Right.
the first episode.
Yeah.
right.
You
So,
really do.
so first episode, he starts talking about who he's going to get to replace him. So
Yeah.
we have Jackie, I think is her name. Jackie's the first one. She's a woman. She's much younger. Frank acts like he's going to not be a part of the conversation of who's going to replace him, because what's the point in having it very obvious who your political allegiances are?
Yeah, but the other
if
guys
you can
didn't
get your
like
way?
that idea or something. They didn't want.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing to like enjoy watching manipulation. Like I can't think of any.
I love it. Are you
like,
kidding?
Yeah, it's
Breaking
great.
Bad.
Yeah.
It's one of the,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you're right,
I love
totally.
Frank Underwood. Do you like Frank Underwood? He's amazing.
I'm with you there. I do
knew
love
it.
Frank
I
Underwood.
kind
yeah.
of predicted this because I
course
was
you
like,
did.
this is because basically Frank Underwood and his wife are pretty evil fucking people.
You know, the reason I might like this more is it was like, what if Siler wasn't an annoying bitch?
And what if she joined in right away? And
Yeah.
was just as well, yeah, because in the first episode we have her telling the poor woman who's pregnant, "I will let your child wither and die before I allow you to like."
Oh yeah.
Dude, what the fuck? I was like, you guys were meant for each other.
For
Frank and this lady.
For a little bit of the show, I was like, oh shit, is she pregnant, or is she gonna try and get pregnant? What
Yeah,
the hell's
yeah, it
happening?
seemed like
so
she
like
was.
even the whole idea of her being like this CEO or whatever of a nonprofit of this like water thing or whatever, it's so like it's so true. Like in Washington, like politicians, the way that the wives or the spouses, whatever, if it's a female politician, the male spouse, whatever, they'll get involved in these like nonprofits that just cater to the like super upper class and super wealthy, and it strokes everybody's ego, and everything is a power play. Oh,
I think it's about all having those connects, and also like it's a good front at the end of the day. Like it gives you the connects, and it's a good front.
Yeah, and it's so.
It's the car wash.
It's the car wash.
Really
you
is.
see how it's a front in those types of scenes when she's like, "I'll let your baby."
But I like watching this show and thinking like, okay, how much of this is legitimately what's happening behind the scenes in the White House in politics right now?
Yeah.
Like how much of this is absolutely real, and how much of it is, because they really do a convincing job making it seem like these people can very easily disappear bodies and sway results on votes and all this kind of stuff, and they're so powerful and they have such control. But it's kind of true. You read about this stuff in the papers all the time about how they kind of like there's all these different corrupt things happening. And so I watched this show thinking, how much of this do I want to believe is real life type stuff, and how much of it is just like really well written drama?
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the inner workings of
I know,
Congress.
I think they're probably in more ways. It's probably worse in more ways than they don't show in the show. But I doubt that it's. Right. I doubt there's a lot of politics. Yeah. Like I doubt Joe Biden has ever tossed anybody in front of a train, literally, except for the economy.
Which actually, well, he has someone else do that for him.
So that's a good point. Is in the episode we also have Zoe and her I was gonna say crackwit. I don't know. Her crackwit. I don't know.
That's great. I know exactly what you mean when you say that, though.
No, but yeah. So because it's close to something I actually mean. But so it's like her and that little team, and they're like, "You can't get away with it, and we're gonna do this." And then she's like, "I have to take this call," and she goes to meet Frank Underwood in a place where she shouldn't, and also Frank Underwood has knowledge of all cameras. And they chat.
Yeah, he must.
And you know what? She was okay. She was in on it. And I thought everything was going to continue. And then she pissed Frank off, and he threw her in front of a train. Perfectly timed. He timed his anger perfectly.
Well,
and timing perfectly too, with like getting the most shocking reaction ever. Like I haven't.
The cuts were great.
I haven't talked to anybody who that happened to or saw that and wasn't freaking.
Right.
I was like,
I haven't talked to.
You've talked to the
really
victims of family.
Who've been hit by trains.
I haven't talked to anybody.
/hit by trains on Reddit.
Make it.
I haven't, but I haven't talked to anybody who watched that and didn't like freak the crap out.
It was crazy.
But I also think
so fast.
You seem to think though that it was like premeditated of Frank.
I think that it was an option. He was.
I would agree with that. 100%,
it was definitely an option. I think for a second there is something interesting. He was using her in the right way of getting certain information out into the press, and it was good for him to have that connect, and he could still continue to use that. But the fact that she kept being like, "Was that part of a murder?" At that point he realized, oh man, she's gonna keep asking questions. Yeah, she's a loose end.
And plus she was a little too. She was very smart, but a little too smart for her own good, and she kind of like was naive to the idea that these people could just have her like wiped off the face of the planet if they wanted to. It was weird that she never was consciously aware of that.
But I think it also might have been because she was so new to reporting.
Yeah.
Like you could even see when the news like breaks that she's dead. Like the woman that's been there and she's like, I've been threatened before. She was like, I'm out.
So the cool thing about losing Zoe though is not the cool thing about losing. It's so sad. It's a fictional character. Doesn't matter. Jamie Kennedy finally now has like an actual role in the show and isn't just a wet rag the entire time, and we see in the second episode him freaking stepping up.
Let's call him Jimmy Kennedy.
He's okay. Here's the deal, right? I know that we're in a show where we're not supposed to technically root for the bad guy. That's like whatever.
Yeah.
There's something about him that makes me go like. He's like, I'm fighting for the truth, and I'm like, shut up.
I know.
Like, there's something about the way he handles himself.
Well, you're talking about the boyfriend, the guy.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, you're right. There is something kind of annoying about him. I can't really put my finger on it. Maybe it's because he's way too actively trying to like ruin Kevin Spacey's plans.
I think he's great.
But no, I mean, I love what's going on. Is it the second episode that we get into his like kind of like his craziness, and then he contacts like the crazy hacker.
Well, so I
people.
think it's good to jump into the second ep from the first one.
Yeah.
The only thing that we really didn't mention was the lady of the night that had to quit her waitress job.
Yeah, which she sucked at anyway.
Which
so.
I find interesting because they decide to like kill people and they decide to not kill people.
Right.
Yeah, well, I feel like Baldy McCreepy dude has a thing for her.
Well, yeah, Baldy McCreepy dude definitely has a thing for her. Doug has a thing for her.
Yeah, I don't think
we'll call him Doug.
Because I mean, he has like,
Doug.
I mean, he's a recovering alcoholic. I mean, he hasn't had a drink in forever. He looks for happiness anywhere. I mean, his whole job is really just sadness.
But he's also like, I don't like that guy because that guy represents the very transparent, more evil.
No, he's the acting arm for Frank Underwood.
He's basically like the muscle.
Yeah.
And that intimidates me more than like
knowing that he's like out in the open.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's not like,
yeah.
But then we get into to episode 2, and Frank Underwood becomes the vice president of the United States. He even looks to camera and he's like, democracy's overrated.
Yep.
Not even a single vote had to be cast.
But was it the first episode when he looks at camera and says, "Don't think I forgot about you guys"?
Oh, I love
like,
that.
That
I love
was
it.
so great. I was like, "Where's his monologues that were so great in the first season?"
Oh,
But
they're coming.
And then it scrolls down or it pans down and you see the FU.
yeah, I love that.
Frank
The
and
cufflinks. Yeah, that was
And
really
then
nice.
you see life for them is about to change because there's all the construction in the house because he doesn't want to move out. He wants to stay there.
Can't play his video games.
Yeah,
Oh,
he can't
yeah.
enjoy God of War.
He can't even sit in his own backyard.
No, he can't.
Wait,
And
is that from
That's a
this
terrible
one?
impression.
I don't know if that's from this episode.
when he's sitting there playing God of War.
No. From this one where he can't. He's like, "Where's my internet?" And
Yeah,
they're
that's
like,
from the second one.
It is?
Yeah, because I've seen it.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've only seen the first one.
I barely remember the
I'm-
second one. All I remember is that the second one is starting a new theme for me that I'm like way on board with. Like even more so than the first season.
What's that theme?
With the cool like anonymous like kind of hacker
totally,
world
yeah.
shit going on. Like I am way into it. I love it.
Like that when that guy's like, 96% of the internet isn't searchable on your major search engines.
Oh yeah, that fat guy. I love how they had to get the fat guy to come in and be the hacker guy.
Yeah.
Well, let me show you with mustard stains on my shirt how to connect to the intranet. Basically.
careful. what you click on.
When we get to the hacker, it's kind of funny in several ways. I really like the second episode because it sets up Raymond Tusk.
Yeah.
And you really see that it's going to be the differences between Raymond Tusk and Frank Underwood
Yeah.
because there's always been this conversation of, and I think it happened several times, of money versus power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and obviously money garners some power, but it's essentially it's not good versus evil. It's evil versus different kind of evil.
Yeah,
you know?
pretty much.
And so they're both kind of trying to manipulate the president in their own way.
Who's apparently
And the
the most
president-
easily manipulated
so naive
person ever.
He's so easily manipulated. I love how he it's like a TV movie like listening to other people tell him what to do type shit.
Yeah.
Because he's just standing there and Frank's like, "Listen, you've got to really consider the other side of the coin here," and the president's just kind of like. Yeah. Dude, it's like, wait a minute.
Hey, if you had a friend like Frank Underwood who just said stuff to you, I'd be like, yeah, probably.
yeah, he
right?
basically has his
Kevin
mouth is
Spacey
the
was my
Jedi
friend.
mind trick, basically.
Well, he says at one point, he says the president is a tree alone in a field swaying with whatever direction the wind is blowing.
Yeah, that was
And
nice.
Raymond Tusk is
So
too
good.
strong of
Yeah.
a breeze.
Yeah.
Or some shit
yeah,
like
so
that.
Too big a gust or something.
Something that you like. He has a kind of voice. You always think he's talking about sweet tea.
Yeah.
I want my sweet tea and ribs. This lady right here.
Oh, that's what we
is-
forgot to talk about. Freaking, I never wanted to eat pork again after that first episode. That guy who's like, it's slow.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Oh, Freddie?
Yeah.
Freddie's the best.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
wants it. Yeah, you kill it in the most
I
painful
mean, I had
way. It
bacon
makes it
the
more
next
delicious
day,
or something.
yeah.
I like that because I love the Underwood Freddie relationship.
Oh, yeah.
Me too.
Because it's
really
so
cool.
random, but also like that scene where Freddie's talking about like making someone suffer. It completely is parallel to
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what Frank does to some
Yep.
people.
Yeah.
That's
But
why
then,
he loves him so much. I feel like.
Yeah, and
he can relate to him on a smaller scale.
why smaller.
Well,
But also this episode's really interesting for Jackie. She acts like she's surprised that her good old buddy wants her to run for
Yeah.
whip. Then she uses that relationship.
dude, she's just as bad as Frank. If not, I mean, she's young and she's already a son of a bitch like Frank is. That's terrifying
But
to me.
So at the first time, I was like, that's dirty, that's Frank-like. But then I also thought like it's not fully Frank-like because the guy did have a daughter with cerebral palsy that he
That he was
never
keeping,
acknowledged. Like he never.
There's always something like that though that makes you go, oh, that's okay
I can
now.
see that, right?
But yeah, it's still crap.
For me, it's a little bit of wolves eating wolves, and I'm like, go for it. So I kind of respected it.
I mean, okay, but
It's
I
like
mean,
a
two
wolf-
wrongs don't make a right, obviously.
It's like a wolf eating a sheep who one time did a wolf-like thing.
Yes.
I'm sure that was very
succinct.
eloquent, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's I mean, she's
she-
a perfect replacement for Frank, basically, in that.
Yeah, and she let him know that she was gonna stab him right in the chest.
Yeah, pretty much.
She was like, by the way, there's another knife
Yep.
coming for you back tomorrow.
But I just love how nonchalant she is about it to his face.
Well, and he's even like, you're gonna be good at this job.
Yeah, I know, but he said it in a way that was like terrifying to him too.
One thing that they've done that I've noticed this new season is the first time you meet, you see this big Dunkin' Donuts sign behind her. And I feel like the product placement, they just amped up this time.
It is a little amped
First
up.
season, it was Skype, which is why every office scene, you'd hear nothing but Skype sounds.
Well, also iPhone too. I feel like iPhone was a big thing in the
Really?
first
You think
season
so?
because everybody
I don't
had their like their text thing looked exactly like the iMessage text, basically.
I like that. Like, there's certain shows that they have like a certain visual. Like, I love the instant message.
Yeah,
like,
it's
segment.
perfect.
Oh yeah, totally.
Then, of course, the other big thing, you find out that Mrs. Underwood was raped.
Yeah,
That was-
that's right.
Yeah.
And Frank has to pin a medal on the guy.
Yeah,
that
and I
did
love
it.
the look. I love that he says to the girl like,
Congratulations.
"Congratulations, it's a great honor."
And then
he pins the other guy. And he's just staring daggers into his eyes.
Because I get like that's
So good.
Like the level of self-control. I think that's when you realize like dude's like a shark. He's not gonna, no matter what, he's always gonna be calculated.
Well, and her too, like the way when he laid down at the end of the night and she was like, you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're still going to feel the hatred and you're going to use it, but not on him. And I was like, oh my God, might be the best written television show, like scene by scene ever.
Yeah, and then we have what's his name? What did you just call him? Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah.
We have
Kennedy,
Jamie
yeah.
Kennedy losing his shit and wearing the same clothes 2 days in a row.
Which
His
first I was
job
like,
is
how
compromised.
does he even know that he's wearing the same clothes? Those look like the most drab,
The most generic shit, yeah.
Well, he also looks like he's been beaten.
Right.
Like,
I
he just looks exhausted.
Every freaking I want one newspaper person in that show just got their crap together.
Actually, I should have
like,
zoomed
they
the
look
jacket
like they
down, 'cause-
showered. What?
I've never worn this one, but I wear this one.
Also, then he goes up to a guy that looks kind of like Steve, and he's like, "So how do the hackers use the internet?"
Yeah, I know, I love it. Well, let me teach you. Let me put down this corn dog and Hot Pocket, and let me show you how to hack the internet.
Be careful what you click on.
Yeah, internets is a scary place. Let me show you.
Yeah, he's like a trucker hat away from being the dude from 30 Rock, the guy with like the comic
Yeah.
hats all the
He's
time.
me and
All the
Judah
ironic-
Friedlander,
Yep.
Judah Friedlander together.
Like they're like, "Hey, you look overweight. You could probably hack stuff."
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
what is this generalization?
Yeah, it's basically
So-
just nerd racist.
Let me
Basically.
let me say as just a summation point, as somebody who's only seen the first 2 episodes, I have high hopes for the rest of the season, guys.
Dude, and let me say, 5 more, or at least 4 more episodes in, it's fantastic. I'm way on board. I can't binge it like you did, though, man.
You
My
have
brain
to. People
would
try
hurt.
and ruin stuff for me, and no, it's a fantastic thing. I mean, I watched a bunch in the morning. I came in here for the meeting, went back home, finished it. What I will say is it is amazing all the way through. By the time you get to the end of the season, you can't even believe where the hell you started. It's amazing. But for these first 2 episodes, I think the first one, that's how you bring a fucking series
Pretty
back.
much, yeah.
Yep.
And then the second one, I think it's starting for the build-up, and I loved it.
Yeah, more story stuff going on in the second episode, whereas first episode is just kind of like a lead-in back into it. Like, hey, welcome back.
Yeah, I mean, because there are a lot of shows where it's like, if it's like a rom-com, it's like the guy and the girl, will they get together? And it goes back and forth and back and forth. And I even saw like them killing Zoe, just going, it's not that kind of series. Like,
Yeah.
We're just going to keep moving forward.
And I also want to emphasize, like, I think we kind of brought this up during the American Horror Story one. A lot of times people are like, I don't want to watch that because it's about this or it's about that. This is not about politics.
Yeah.
It's like Friday Night Lights, and people are like, I don't want to watch Friday Night Lights because this is about football, and I don't like football. Well, it's not about football, it's about characters. And it's the same with House of Cards. It's about politicians and power and greed and manipulation, and you should watch it because it's just good old-fashioned
But
entertainment.
it still is a heightened, like, dramatized,
no,
dramatized.
no,
What's the word I'm looking
don't
for?
shut me down.
Because it is.
No.
You have your injection of like soap opera-ish type things going on too. But that's what makes the show so interesting.
Wait.
If it was straight politics, it'd be like, I hate this show. But you've got like crazy like murder going on and all sorts of like sexual things and.
No, I think what Elliott's saying, it is the characters that matter, politics and everything. It's just the framing and the tools. That's it.
There it is.
Main
Very
point.
nice.
If you want to join us with this season 2 of House of Cards, we're going to be doing 2 episodes every week, same time here on SourceFedNERD. And of course, if you want to watch it and you don't already have Netflix, you can use Netflix.com/SourceFed. I just had an aneurysm burst in my brain. I have 3 seconds to die.
These are your last words, Bill. Oh, he missed them.
Should we all say? Oh wait, should we say the outro like Frank?
Well, no, leave him be. It's fine. He'll say
Let's say the outro like Frank Underwood though. So here it goes.
Oh no!
Like this. You ready?
Oh wait. So wait. Would
Wait.
Steve
So
and I,
are you?
Steve and I
I'm
be
just
having a
gonna do-
conversation?
yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it's good to hear commentary about your favorite TV shows. Of course, it matters what TV show you're watching, and in this case, it's a House of Cards.
That's what I was thinking, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that a good idea?
Wait, why are you also Frank?
Because I'm
Underwood?
Southern.
Fuck you.
I'm his brother. Let's go get some barbecue.
Season 3, Joe Underwood comes in. The fucking the brother you never knew.
Just a hillbilly. Is that a good idea?
Hey,
Does that sound
brother,
good?
let me get a look at this White House. Let me in.
I hate my brother.